Okay, everybody ate supper and just waiting on the meeting. Yeah, I guess I have to buy another charger kind of deal because it's not fast charging. The ones I have, I guess, were old. So I'm going to have to find a fast charger. I guess they sell them anywhere nowadays.
Joe! Yeah. Joe! Yeah. When'd you get in? Right now? What's up, bro? Something abuse there, some kind of abuse. Abuse and abuse. What happened? Come back, man. Come back. Hey, don't get me sick. I just don't like this. But you know what? God gave me a wonderful immune system. He did.
Excuse me. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to figure out what Hello.
Come on in.
I'm not sure what my husband's doing. Probably got to do. Now I got
Kids in their toys on the floor. Yeah, wow. Is that cheap?
Yeah.
Those things are
True. Mixed with an air, well, it's a horn, but you use the air compressor of the true. You just recharge the battery. It's loud and effective.
Oh, nice to relax. Yeah. Yeah, take the one last trip.
Where do you want to stand? good. It was a misunderstanding. Yeah. We're gonna just move everything over. Yeah. I was like freaking out because she said it wasn't cleaned up, and then but she just said move everything over to one side. But it's a huge tent. Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
Good. I was asking around because but also we were going to ask
Yeah, we're good.
Get that sliver out of your left. You get my that glass. I like it. First Bible. Geneva. Those guys got killed for chanceling the act. Are you feeding that dog, Barb? Is she feeding that dog? Are you feeding that dog? Everybody's feeding that dog. You hate dogs. No, they like green stuff, some of them. Peanut butter, too.
We're back there, Crystal. Trying to still figure out why my phone won't fast charge. All right, David, thank you for that info. 6 total vehicles. Expand as they head east. They're halfway through Missouri from Colorado. About to have the meeting and we'll go from there.
Even with the thunderstorms, I love Now it's 95. I mean, as hot as it was, and the other been unbearable. It's like this place in Paris and
8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, one lap further. Make a request.
Oops.
Okay.
Yeah. Started at 25 and then we knew somebody got up. Yeah, thank you. Who's best friend? He said it was best friend. It's probably good stuff right there. And usually he comes in and sees the office and he doesn't go out. He goes his car there and sees the kid. Oh my goodness. I pray for these relationships. Girl mode.
Pretty detailed. Yeah, you can get on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, type in Freedom Fighters, Kenny P. Justice.
Yeah,
It'll come
absolutely.
up.
I know there's so many layers of what we can learn in this.
That's right. Is it your turn? That's your turn? What's your one?
I can see
They got Larry the Cable down there. That place filling up. They got a lot more people coming in.
I just got an update on him. He's halfway through Missouri. He's got 6 vehicles. He's said he's picking up more. I just got that up there.
Is that X-ray?
No, well, yeah, it's X-ray. Yeah, he's coming. I just got an update on him.
Where's he at now?
They're halfway in between. They're halfway across Missouri.
He's got a ways to go yet then. Probably won't be here until tomorrow night or...
All right, thank you. They're raising awareness. Yeah.
That last tub, it's like a bluish gray.
Half-hour away. Yeah. He can make it. He can make it in the morning if he drove straight here.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to leave on the 27th. I was going to meet him on somewhere down. Then he did that video. I mean, stream said that they were leaving later.
Post you gotta watch.
Oh, sauce. Being fat.
Raise awareness. You can email me at 1791 stormtrooper at gmail.com. I'll be able to get your phone number, and yeah, I will call you. I need a lot of help on this stuff so I can get my act together on this. I know, I'm learning stuff every day. That's 1791 stormtrooper@gmail.com. And I will not pass you your phone number. I'm not pass it to anybody.
I'm gonna call you.
Well, MP, I think that's the first time I've seen you here. The only reason why we can only get a couple people per table because we're all fat. Did you get anything to eat?
So what you do is you make the ball eat that ball. Yeah, you use something like that for the ball. Every morning you're seeking you.
Hey, Mrs. Steve, thank you for coming on here. Please, everybody that comes in, please sub for me. Hit a sub in there and hit the like button. I need some help on this thing so I can build it up and get everything going so we can get this movement shown out to the world. So you threw all your papers away? You should have kept all your papers so we could. I'd like to hear them 2 or 3 times.
I gave them to somebody and they left.
Oh, that's not
They're not
right.
here. They took them with them. So I don't have them. I gave them to Ron, and he took them home to Texas. I don't.
Well, it's a straight talk phone.
No, he's
Waylon,
in Washington State now.
I got it. It's a new up from the older Galaxy, and I have a straight. I just bought the cheap $45 one card for it, but it. I don't know. Everybody says I got a good picture, so I'm getting really good. I've hardly had any buffering at all. Even when I was driving, I didn't hardly have any. And I think it was a good choice. It's a good phone. That's all I use it for. That's all I'm going to use it for, streaming. That way I don't have to pay 2 bills. One, I can just get a card. Like for the winter, if I'm not streaming, I don't want to pay a bill. But I'll probably stream. I got some ideas that I want to do. And I live in North Dakota. I'll take you out there and show you what a real winter is. Yeah, I have no problem with this phone or that card I bought. It's working really good. Plus it has a 5 gigabyte hotspot so I can use my little tablet and make some changes that everybody says I should be making. This is only my 5th day of really streaming.
See, I can't tap.
But Santa wants a lot of streamers, so we get the word out and don't get caught up by the MSMs making us look bad and say, no, look at this, I got streamed. We didn't do that. Did you ask him about medical too? I'm sure they have to have. I think they probably got a couple things. I'm sure somebody. Yeah, I got too much sun on swelled up a little bit. North Dakota, we don't get much.
All right, you bunch of rowdy rebels. And the rest of you good folks. Had to clean that up a little bit.
Well, thank you, Mrs. C.
Oh, you guys know who you are. Don't make me point you out.
You know, I didn't come here on my own. Somebody twisted my arm, and he's way. If you look up and look into the heavens, he's the one that brought me here. Oh no, I can see Santa.
Just to let you know,
I'm
I
fine.
did not fully escape the rainstorm today either. I had to return something to Best Buy. Brother Tony was driving me around today. We had a great time hanging out with him and Sister Janet. And I done it again. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll put it right here. I apologize. I told you I was going to do it, and I forgot. But I had to return something to Best Buy right when it started to come down. And so it was a microphone in a box. So I reached in the back and grabbed the microphone, but my receipt was in a bag with some other stuff I had purchased. So I grabbed the bag and I run into the return. I showed it to the security guy up front first. And then I went over to the return station and I put the microphone up and he said, "Do you have a receipt?" And I said, "Yeah." So I opened up my
All
bag.
right.
It was not my bag.
Buffalo 11 told
It
me
was a
not to
bag,
change
a
that. I'll
small
change
bag
that
of dirty
as soon as I
laundry
can.
that was his.
Mrs.
And I looked at the guy and I said, "I've got some dirty laundry, but I don't have my receipt." He started cracking up. He says, "Well, do you have the card that you purchased it on?" I said, "I do have that." And so I was able to return that and replace it with one that will actually work with my iPhone. I watched these Stu Peters. I watched about 30 seconds of Stu Peters. That's about all I can take of myself, watching myself. And I was like, the audio quality was so bad. I was like, I can't do this. So I went and bought me this nice microphone, you know. Got it home, or this is home. This is home.
Simon, you were okay.
I got it home and opened it up and it goes to a computer. I didn't even read the box. I assumed everything was iPhone compatible, I guess. It's not. So I saw that Oreo has a really cool contraption with a microphone that sticks out, a boom mic or some kind of mic, and I said, if it's good enough for Oreo, okay, I'll do it. So that's what I purchased. I haven't even got a chance to check it out. So, but anyway, appreciate Pastor Tony. Took us out to eat today, and
It was great.
really enjoyed that time. We just sit and talked and just had a great time. Hope everybody is doing well today. Appreciate you, the work that I see that's been accomplished today. When I came in, there was a whole bunch of chairs just laying in the middle, like something, was going on, and you had to get them to the middle all of a sudden. I don't know what was going on around here, but
It got a little wild and crazy.
yeah. But I appreciate you guys taking care of our stuff. Thank you so much. where's my speaker thing? Oh, there she is. This young lady came out today. Is her name Janice? Janice, right? All right, come on forward. Janice came out today and she began to speak to me. I was eating breakfast and I told her, I said, I don't have long, but I want to hear what you got to say. And she began to tell me what she's been working on. And about 15, 20 minutes into it, come on in, sit down right here. I stopped her, I said, ho, ho, ho. I said, I like what I'm hearing so far. And I'm not the only one that needs to hear this. This is the stuff that I've been praying for. She asked me, what would you think would be, what would you consider at the end of this, you could feel like you had success? And so I rattled off 4 things, I think it was. And she says, those are exactly what I want to see as well. And she's actually had some success in this area. Remember me telling you about the county sheriff who, I said it was the EPA, it was actually the FDA, correct? Oh, that was the FDA? Okay. I wanted to correct that. I said EPA. It was actually the FDA who was coming in trying to shut down some of the farmers for food processing and things of that nature. Just messing with the farmers. And the county sheriff looked at them and says, you're not welcome in our county anymore.
Amen.
That's what's got to happen.
That's right.
That's what's got to happen. I heard an interview the other day. I've not been able to research it yet.
I'm just going to let Santa talk so we can all hear what's going on in the meeting now.
600
talk to y'all after the meeting.
Agencies underneath of the executive branch alone. That's way too many. Way too many. Am I hearing a radio from somewhere?
Yes, I'm trying to find a list.
Where's?
Is that white van here?
Is that white van here?
That was good. I gotta admit, that was good. Wait a minute, Oriole's got a white van.
Oh, yeah. What was that place?
They're not. Santa, we're about to switch to generator 2. That we don't have the quiet one on. A loud one is on. 2 loud ones.
I'm surely not picking up conversations.
Yeah, but Gilligan cavity. Remember Gilligan's eye? He had that cavity. He could hear everything. Had that cavity fell out or something. You could hear all over the world.
I'm putting it closer even. They're switching generators.
One on the first goes up. The new piece, yeah, that goes up there. Boom.
Nothing's going on. There's nothing. I just closed everything out. There's nothing else on here.
I've heard of that about those
I think the FBI has an open mic somewhere.
Well, the police are done. She can press charges.
for teaching this kind of stuff to her children.
Over-sexualizing and grooming our children's minds. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Sounds like Andy Glasgow. Sounds like Alex Glasgow.
I don't know who it is, but they're talking about people grooming to the prior in the library.
Be like, well, hold up. Us too, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I recognize that.
That was X-ray right there.
Yeah, it's not coming from anywhere around here. Okay.
There's something running in the background.
Don't do that. Somebody's doing another trouble, probably.
Somebody said, were you watching the video of the cloud place going into the language? I clicked on that's what it was. Cloud matrix
No. Hey, it's kind of. That's bigger than since. It's gotten bigger since this morning. Every time I turn around, I see a new vehicle or truck.
So anyway, back to our regular programming. Can you hear me back here in the back now? Is that better? Is that better in the back? All right, thank you guys. All right. I just cut off 6,000 people watching us, so.
I'm not here.
Oh, no. I'm pointing at
That's fine. Okay, you still got them. Okay.
You're perfect.
Well, the problem is that my 6,000 is also part of your 18,000 watching you on another screen. That's how it works. So, sorry, Sparrow. I just saw it again. So anyway, Janice, correct? All right, Janice has something that I think is interesting, and I think you'll be interested by it as well. So I'm going to turn the mic over to her, give her about a half an hour here to take care of this information. I think this is what we've been praying for. We need, along with our protest, we need action steps. And I told someone today, I was talking to you out here a while ago, and I told it's like drinking from a fire hose, and that's how they get you. Is they make it so hard and so complicated that it's impossible to really effectively fight against it. That's why I focused on the core, returning to a constitutional republic. If we can get that established and make them live by the law of the land, then everything else will handle itself. So anyway, but she's got some great ideas, some great, and I'm gonna tell you, this lady is a warrior. She has been through the fire. Can I tell him? She's been put in jail for this. And
So I'm Janice Gold Grenadier. I'm from the city of Alexandria, Virginia, which is a little communist town. And I stand up monthly at my city council meeting, and I name names, and I talk about the corruption of our judges. I am the ex-wife of the son of a judge in the city of Alexandria. And I had to make some really tough choices. And I was able to raise my children through St. Mary's and through Bishop Ireton. They've graduated from college. And I waited till they were out of at the end of their high school career to go back. I was divorced without a property settlement. So I have 2 fights that I'm fighting myself. One is my divorce still, which is from 1997 when he left me. And the other is an illegal foreclosure, which they've gone after my home. So I want to only say one thing about the illegal foreclosure, because I want anyone who has Auckland to realize as a servicer that their mortgage-backed security may not be real. It may be fake. And not only could it be fake, the insiders on their trading, and I think this is a good example for what our government is doing. They purchased around, and I'm giving estimates because I don't have the exact numbers with me, they purchased around 4 million stock options or stocks. They paid 12 million. They walked away. Well, you're going to love this. They walked away with $304 million in profit. Now, how does a servicer, insiders? You're not talking about a large group of people. This is the insiders. So, 4 million, 12 million, 304 million in profit. How? How? Oh. Oh, okay. So basically, our government is a mess. We need to think about our government in the organizational chart. If you were to Google it, in the organizational chart, we the citizens come first, and then it's the next 3 branches: the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. So we own them. Instead, they flipped it around. And it really started in the 60s. And the tools that we have to work with are really strong tools. There are United States Constitution, which guarantees us due process in the courts, which we're being denied. We have our 4 freedoms. In the 40s, when Eisenhower, and it was Mimi Eisenhower that met with him in San Francisco, all over the world, and the human rights documents were done. We in the United States were given 4 freedoms, and they're fear, speech, worship, and want. And those 4 freedoms pretty much say it, but they're ignored, and a lot of people don't know them. But probably one of the biggest tools that we don't use is our Declaration of Independence of 1776. And I'm going to read the paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their grantor with certain unalienable rights. Those rights are from God.
That's right.
That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're all the same here. We all have the same goals. We could be standing in the grocery store and I could be behind one of you or you behind me. We need to start talking to each other. We need to start showing each other a lot of kindness and working together with this. What came out of my time in jail, I was illegally jailed, and it was to silence me. I was sentenced to 30 days and for $8,100 in legal fees, which basically made me a slave. So they violated several of my constitutional rights. I was 14 days in solitary confinement till 5:30 on election day, when the sheriff said to me, "You don't have to be in solitary anymore because Mark Warner won." We found the 17,000 votes for Senator Mark Warner to win. I was shocked. Senator Mark Warner had traded a federal judgeship and to try to flip the Virginia legislature from Republican to Democrat. And, so everything they did to me, they did blogs on me and whatnot. it was to make me look crazy. Well, those 22 days in jail changed my life forever. I fasted and prayed, read 2 books. One was a young gentleman in Louisiana who was African American, who had been wrongly put into jail for crime, because I wanted to know the worst that could happen to me in there. And when I went in there, I said to him, I think you're going to kill me. And by sneaking documents out, there was one sheriff who helped me sneak them out. I got out in 22 days. But they still played games. And since then, there's been a lot of things that have happened. But I'm not really here to talk about me. I'm just here to give you a little bit about my path so you know that I know what's going on. And being the ex-wife of the son of a judge, I've sat at the table, and I'm not proud of myself. I've seen the cases traded. I've seen how the judges and the lawyers have talked and said, especially in divorce, you have to turn over every financial information you have on each side. And in a guardianship, it's the same thing. They don't settle them until they get every penny they can. It's all about the lawyers. It's not about the children. The children don't get a vacation. The children don't get a car, but the lawyers do. Yeah. And so you to really think we have to get into mediation for this type of stuff. We have to get out of our courts because our judges are being purchased by breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a weekend getaway. And they sit there and so I have looked for things outside the box. And there are 2 things that I've done that I believe are going to work, or 3 things. One of them is the grand jury. When our forefathers created our government, they created a grand jury. The grand jury is the 4th arm of government. Justice Powell and Justice Scalia have written and stated, we own it. It's ours. But in the 60s, the government realized the power we had. And they slowly started taking away the rights. Federal grand juries, they have one in the Southern District of New York that sits all the time, which I've tried to get into. And the Department of Justice attorneys block you. So we're being blocked at every avenue that is ours to get information. I have been fighting down in Culpeper, Virginia, to get in front of the grand jury. And in Virginia, I have the right to do it. And this last time, I think I probably argued it the best I've ever argued it, because I listened. And the judges used the words authority and discretion. Well, you know what? His authority is inherent. And it's inherent authority to ensure that I get justice.
That's right.
And as a pro se litigant, I am, through the Constitution, I'm a protected class.
Amen.
No different than if I was black or brown, I didn't have a leg, I was disability or whatever. I am a protected class, as every single one of you are.
Amen.
If you go into the courtroom and stand up, and you're supposed to have more rights than that lawyer has. But instead, they've turned it on us, and they call us frivolous. They call us all kinds of names in trying to intimidate us. But they get up every morning and put their pants on no different than we do. And we all need to remember that. And we need to hold them responsible.
Amen.
Always be polite in the courtroom. Always walk out of there. Never let them put you in jail, because being in jail doesn't help you. It doesn't make the difference. Having a voice outside. And there are so many different ways. I sued 43 federal judges. And right now, I have an ethics lawsuit against Comey, Barr, and McCabe. Because they filed, in Virginia, they did a directive that no public corruption was to be investigated in Virginia. So one of the other things that I did coming out of jail was I knew the internet was important. And the importance of the internet, I created a site called judicialpedia.com. And judicialpedia.com is all about exposure, putting the sunlight on there. We are leaving through Wikipedia and Ballotpedia some information, but Judicialpedia is your voice, and it's your voice to tell about your case. And it doesn't have to just be your case. And it can be something as simple as a parking ticket. Because I don't know if you've ever gone into court on something that simple and walked out like, how do I lose? How, you know, but because it's not enough money to fight and you have to pick and choose your battles, you walk away from it. But you shouldn't have to. If you're innocent, you're innocent. And you should have that right to say it. And the judge is supposed to listen to us. They're not supposed to take it under advisement and do an order 3 weeks later, you know, or anything like that where they've been able to have ex parte communication with the opposing sides. There's nothing worse than knowing that the judge has already made his decision because he's already talked to other people. He's lied in the courtroom to you. But all you can do is be polite to him because otherwise you're going to jail on contempt for nothing. And if they put you in jail on contempt, there's a attorney in Los Angeles, he's pretty famous, Fine is his last name, and he went to jail for over a year in contempt. So judges have a lot of power, and attorneys even are starting to realize if they want to do the right thing, that's not the business to be in. So one of my suggestions is, I own several .pedias, and one of them is Truckerspedia. And so judicialpedia.com in the month of May had 567,963 views. It's only 2 years old. It was birthed 4th of July 2 years ago. And that's with me not ever paying for any advertising. And 81,532 people were blocked. So we have an opportunity to repeat that platform. I got the platform and everything, but doing it under different names. COVID-19 Pedia, 9/11 Pedia. We all have a story. We all have something to leave to the next generation. The next generation isn't going to read books. They're going to Google it. You know, I was shocked when my one daughter came home from babysitting and said, I read her a book, but it was on an iPad. This is 10 years ago. So the next generations, it's going to be through apps on their phone. They're going to read through Kindle. And so we have to adapt to that now. So my thought is that we have a platform where you have your own dashboard. You go in and you sign up for it, and you put your story. And how we do the form, and this is still open for talk. I mean, not negotiations. It's you know, this is for everybody. This is so what happened to me doesn't happen to anyone else. This is what God's path for me is. This wasn't a path that I chose. If someone had told me at 16, 25, 30, this is where I would be sitting today, I would have been like, you're on acid. There's no way that's going to happen. But it did. And I am so lucky to have the great faith that I have, because it's the only way I've gotten through it. And it's the only comfort I have in all of it. And it's the gift that I get to give back. With God speaking through me basically and coming up with these ideas. So the idea would be that you would be able to sign in. You have your own dashboard just like you would on Judicialpedia. And then, you know, your state, you can put your name if you want. You don't have to. You can put whatever you want there. But then who, how, what, where, when, how, kind of like a reporter does. We are the press now. We no longer can depend on any other media than our own voices. And we need to scream it, you know, scream it from the mountain, whatever, or yell from the mountain. We need to be the ones who lead the next generations the stories of what you've been doing, links to your videos. So basically, you get to write what you want. You can go back in, you can change it as much as you want, add pictures, but you get to add links to all your videos, to your website. This isn't about me. This is not, Judicialpedia is not about me, but Judicialpedia has been very successful. Our Supreme Court Justice in the state of Virginia in December of last year had to step down because of our cases. We can make a difference. And we just have to look at the whole situation. We have to be able to look past it. When we were talking this morning, I said, today's your last day. What do you see the changes? We can make those changes with the internet because you're reaching several people right now on Facebook and whatnot. And all those links can be to your story. And you can see, because you then get to Twitter it out, Facebook it out, share it as much as you want to, LinkedIn or wherever. And you get to watch how many people are watching it all over the world. We have China, we have Russia, I have people all over the world. We have a couple of stories of prisoners, political prisoners in Cuba on there. We have other political prisoners in the United States. We have some of the J6 people up there. We need all of them up there. We need every case. We need every parking ticket that wasn't fairly given to you, or every speeding ticket. Because you know what? Someone else who gets a ticket in that state can go to that state, go to that county, look up that judge, and know what he's going to do. And be prepared to walk in there and say, you know what? It's not going to go this way. You can give them the notes to be prepared. We can make those judges nervous, and they are nervous. Sunshine is not what they want on anything they're doing. Think about our courts. Our federal courts, we can go online and pay to get copies. Our state courts and our local courts, all those documents, all that's secret. Unless you go in during 8 to 5 and you pay 50 cents a page, if you're not a lawyer, and anymore, you don't get to bring your phone, you don't get to carry your computer, you own that, you're paying for it. And how many people have to pay cash for everything in those courts? Wouldn't it be nice to get an audit in those courts? Wouldn't it be nice to see where that money is actually going? I mean, so anyways, that's kind of where I'm going with everything. And does anyone have any questions for me?
Yes.
If I'm invited.
I have a question.
But our Constitution, know your constitutional rights.
I have a question. What's the law or the trick to, not so much a trick, but I think since 1913 we've been paying federal income tax. Is that supposed to stop? There's a way around that, right? Maritime law versus land law?
So maritime law is what our courts are actually, yes. Because if you really investigate, and there's a woman named Lydia Radin who is an expert of that in New York City. The problem we have, the minute you walk into a courtroom and say, I'm a sovereign citizen, or the minute you say, I don't have to pay taxes, that's almost within 30 days you're going to find yourself in jail or in trouble. And I can name names of people who that have happened to. And always remember, it's not worth going to jail. You can't do anything really from jail. You're much better off swallowing your pride and keeping yourself out of jail. And I don't say that feeling good or, but we still don't have the control. Once we get everything up on the internet, we will have the control. Because you're not just one person, you're not just 50 people. You can show on the internet, and that's one of the things the judges in Alexandria, Fairfax County, Orange, Virginia, and whatnot, know is their stories up on the internet, and it's getting views every day. And before someone walks into that court, they know it. So it's been a long road for me to be taken seriously and not to be kind of categorized as a crazy. And it takes a lot of grace, and it takes a lot of just standing up silently and letting people call you names and letting people be extremely rude to you. And it's painful, it's hurtful, and it breaks you. And that's where the strength and the backbone comes from God and from friends like Jeanette and Ben McCullen and stuff. So we have to all work together. And, you know, I hope that we can go forward and do something together that helps to empower you guys and helps to empower your goals. And your goals are so from the heart, and they're so, they're righteous, and they're already the law of the land. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. I understand people wanting to empower the sovereign citizen, or, you know, we shouldn't pay taxes or we shouldn't do that, but that's not going to get us to the ground where we want to be. And so it's not that I don't agree with them or I don't understand that side of it, because I do. It's just I also have seen the throwback of it, you know, and how our government is treating people who want to take it back to that. You know, there's also the talk about the fact we're a corporation, you know, and our courts are corporations and our states are corporations. So there's a lot of different paths we can go, but I think what we need to stand by is that our Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Our Declaration of Independence gives us our rights. Our freedoms come from the four freedoms. Yes, sir.
Emergency declaration in effect. Doesn't that mean our Constitution is not?
You know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors about stuff, and I honestly don't know the right answer to that.
That's what I've been doing research on.
Uh-huh.
That's why emergency declaration. That's why this J6 first declaration is still in jail. That's what I've been doing research on.
Well, so the declaration,
They can make any law without anybody knowing. They can arrest anybody. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been finding. With this declaration in effect.
Emergency declaration addresses specifically on the COVID-19 issues.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with any other issue. It addresses only COVID-19. That's what allowed them to shut down.
That's what allowed them to shut down businesses. That's what allowed them to
Impose illegal mandates.
impose illegal mandates, things of that nature. It doesn't relate to January 6th. That's, you know, what they're using there is terrorism laws and things of that nature to try to make those people insurrectionists. And so, yeah, that's a different, it's a horse of a different color. It is an issue. It's one of the great issues, but it's not an overlapping issue.
Thank you, Senator.
one of the things I would like you to know is in the District of Columbia, the court there is a civil rights court. And anyone in the United States is supposed to be able to file something there. Merrick Garland was head of it, the appeals court, and Richard Roberts, who was head of that court when he was there, he raped a 16-year-old. The story is up on judicialpedia.com. It took that woman 30 years to get justice. But you know what they did? They retired him, and we're paying him more than he was making as a judge. And he has more benefits. So those are the things, and the chief judge right now is Chief Judge Beryl Howe, and she's one of the most prejudiced people you will ever find. And they're exposing through the Wall Street Journal the financial conflicts of all these judges. And there's a free press which is publicly putting out all their financials, and all of them have benefited from people losing their homes, and that's why they just stay quiet and allow it to happen, and doing my best to expose it. So you know, that's what we need is sunshine on everything. So
I need to ask you just a few questions. And I'm not making light of anything here.
okay.
Because she's naming names. Are you suicidal?
Thank you very much for asking.
Get that on film for sure.
No, I am not suicidal.
That's
And if
right.
anything happens to me, it will be someone has murdered me.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of heart or problems like that that could instantly take your life?
No, I have no heart issues.
Those are just questions in today's society.
Yes, yes they are.
That's why we're going to DC.
Amen.
Enough of this corruption.
Enough is
Enough of this
enough.
nonsense. Enough of this. Thank you for your fight. Thank you for joining with us. And yeah, can you speak tomorrow at the rally?
Yeah.
Do we have room tomorrow? I don't know. Somebody else is putting this all together. Judicialpedia.com.
Oh, we all are.
And I also have amlegalnews.blogspot.com. Remember, each one over the press. In Maryland, you can get a press pass. Everybody should have a press pass. Yes.
Oh, you mentioned the J6.
Right.
How many do you have on your site?
Just a few, but I'm trying to get all of them up there.
Hoping for that.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, it's important for us to show up as many things that your governor, your attorney general's at in your state. Always look at your state constitution, because our federal constitution gives us certain rights which our state can't ignore, but our state constitution gives us those rights also. And I also work as an ADA advocate, and there is. Whoops.
I thought maybe that was it.
The other thing I became was a certified ADA advocate. And as a certified ADA advocate, I can work with attorneys. I'm not an attorney, but I can call out a judge. I can intervene in a case. Intervene in cases all the time. Because you know why? It gets your name in it.
Yes.
I've intervened in, like, Manafort's case. I intervened in Flynn's case, Trump's cases and whatnot. We have to let them know we're not stepping back. We are going to, because we're not doing it for us.
That's
we're
right.
doing it for our children.
That's
We're
exactly
doing
right.
it for the next generation.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing about Truckerspedia, is because your grandchildren, or maybe your great-grandchildren, one day, just like people go to Ellis Island, will look at Truckerspedia and see your story.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to leave our history to the next generations. It's going to be on the internet. It's not going to be in a book where they're going to read it.
Yeah.
So, want to make it colorful and fun. You know, we've sacrificed a lot, and I give you guys, each and every one of you, a lot of credit, because it's not only you that you're doing this sacrifice, but it affects your family, your friends. A lot of people want to say some not very nice things about you.
Yeah.
You know, ignore them. Doesn't really matter. Ignore them. You know, you've got the background and you've got God.
Just say thank you, I love you. Yeah, when they tell you to say thank you, I love you.
It can be,
Hate can't live in love.
it
Let's give her
can
a
be
good hand.
colorful, but wait a second. It's also got to be serious
No, what
and heartfelt.
what she doesn't know, and I haven't even officially met her. Hi, I'm Rose. Good to meet you. Thank you
Oh
for
my
your
God.
fight. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm gonna cry. What most of you don't know is that in 2013, through an ex parte motion, like she was talking about, in a family court / divorce court, like she was talking about, my life was taken, my children were taken, my kids, my cat, my house, my car, my every single thing was taken through our American justice system.
This is how we change. Your children know you love them. They're going to see this.
One of my children is dead because of this. My other one. Please pray for Christian. This is why we're going to do this thing.
And this is why I started judicialpedia.com.
Thank you for your fight. Thank you. When I started looking into this more, because I'm a good mom, because my children should never have been taken away from a good mom, I found out that there is a whole world of unseen things happening in our court system to good parents, moms and dads, who should not have their children taken away from them or having them taken away every day in this country, in America.
She's 100% correct. And it's also happening to our elderly with guardianship. It's also happening to our elderly in guardianship. And the American Bar Association just did an article, or it was the Virginia Bar Association, how to raise money in your firm, probate, guardianship, taking our elderly.
My children were literally turned over to an abusive man who I had been fleeing for years with my kids. And it almost killed me. This whole thing almost killed me.
Thank you both. Know a little bit more about Rose's story. She was actually in a shelter for battered women when it all went down. So we will now start our nightly meeting. So I've got a great honor tonight. I want to ask Pastor Tony, my pastor, my best friend. He's not much to look at, but he's a good man. Love this man with all my heart. He is my mentor. He is, since my dad has passed, he's become my father figure. And when I was going through my divorce, I went into a very, very dark place. I put myself under 3 men of God and said, I will not make a decision. You guys will make them for me. And he was one of the first guys I called in that endeavor. And he has stood behind me in my high times, and he has stood behind me in my low times. And I owe him a great debt of gratitude. Everybody, Pastor Tony. I went hunting with him in the Colorado Rockies. 10 days. 10 days. Never seen a shooter the whole time I was there, and never had a greater time in my life, man. There is a video of him eating. We were hunting elk, and he was showing me how to track elk, to know how long it's been since they've been through there. And I have it on video. He picked up some elk pellets, and he says, I can tell you how long ago they were by. And he takes it and bites it, and he chews it. So a couple days later, he says, you got to do it now. I said, I ain't doing that. There ain't no way in this world I'm doing that. Hold on, all they're getting is my belly. Okay, there we go. No, still all they're getting is my belly. So a few days later,
on that wide angle.
so I'm telling a story here. So a few days later, we concoct this story, and we have a guy shooting the video. And I had he had some old milk duds. Some old milk duds. They were white. They'd been hot and cold and hot and cold. So I said, I will do, and those were nasty enough. I looked at them like, so we scattered some on the ground, and we've done this parody of what he had done a few days before. And I picked it up, and you should have seen the post on Facebook. They were like, oh my goodness, he'll do anything for Pastor. He loves him so much, he'll do it. I was like, no, I don't. I don't love him that much. I'll do an old milk dud, but that's as close as I'm getting. But anyway, Pastor Tony, would you lead us in prayer and open our meeting tonight?
I will. Praise the Lord. Well, you know what? The elk poop tastes better than the milk duds do. What can I say, man?
Probably
It's
healthier,
just,
too.
it's just processed straw.
That's exactly
Grass
right.
or whatever it is. But anyway, Dave looked at me. You should have seen the look on his face when I took a bite of that, and I said, yeah. Some people do anything for a laugh. Well, praise the Lord. I appreciate being here today. Enjoy all you people. I haven't met all of you, but I've enjoyed being part of David's life for many years. He's also been there for me.